Hey there. Are you feeling discouraged? Everyone gets discouraged sometimes. And when we get discouraged, we get tempted to quit whatever we're trying to accomplish, whatever has taken the courage out of us. It's because we're going somewhere. We're trying to do something. We're trying to accomplish something. We're trying to become something. And so what I want to say is, when you feel discouraged, don't give up. Don't give up. But what you can do instead is pause. So when you're discouraged, pause, but don't give up. And pause. What can you do during the pause? During this pause, when you pause because you're discouraged, a few things you can do. One is you can quiet yourself, do some quiet meditation, and calm your insides. Because when we're discouraged, many times our emotions are very agitated, and it gets our mind thinking all these things, and we have a lot of noise on the inside. So the first thing you can do in that pause is to quiet yourself, and just so you can listen to yourself. And then you can make some decisions about where you're at. You can evaluate, what is going on in my life? Why am I discouraged? What am I trying to accomplish? What is it that I want? And you can evaluate. You use the pause to evaluate where you're at. You need to make an adjustment. Maybe you need to pivot a little bit. Maybe your timing's a little bit off. Maybe you need to learn something more. Maybe you need to fill up on the encouragement of someone else. And that's where I got the idea to share with you today, because I read a very amazing post on LinkedIn by John Acuff. And it was extremely encouraging to me. I wasn't discouraged when I was reading it, but the value in this one post by his is enormous. He had taken a picture, or had a friend take a picture of him 14 years ago, when he had rented out this room to have a meeting, but only 2 people came. So he was in this very large room, which was mostly empty. And I'm sure he felt discouraged, but he didn't quit. 14 years later, he had the other picture of where he'd been in that same place, and he was speaking to over 6,000 people. And he proceeded to encourage whoever was reading this post, for all of you who, you only had one person come, you brought 3 dozen cookies and, no one showed up. You did this and no one showed up. You did this and no one showed up. And he proceeded to encourage the reader to not give up, because he had accomplished in this 14-year span so much. He didn't give up. I bet he paused many times along the way to encourage himself, to let others encourage him, to learn things he needed to learn, to pause in that discouragement and refuel himself to go forward. And that's what I want to encourage you with that. I mean, use his example, what he has accomplished in 14 years. And maybe you're going, 14 years, oh my goodness, it's so long. Well, what is it that you want to accomplish, and how important is it to you? Maybe it won't take you 14 years. Maybe it will take you 5. Maybe it'll take you 20. I don't know how long it will take you. I have been doing what I'm doing for going on 8 years now, since I released my first book. And then I wrote another book, and then another book, and then another book. And then I began, coaching and speaking. And now I have my podcast, Victorious Souls Podcast, that you're listening to. But I didn't give up. I paused along the way many times. I got discouraged along the way many times. You will get discouraged in your life many times. So don't quit. What's important to you? Pause. Instead, pause, quiet yourself, evaluate your situation, encourage yourself, feed on the encouragement of others, and refuel yourself to keep going. And so I wanted to encourage you with that today, to feed you encouragement, because I love you. I'm Danielle Bernock from DanielleBernock.com. Love yourself from Survive to Thrive, that lady on the internet who loves you. Mwah. Until next time.